everyone, it's Jess, and we are here to finally talk about The Amazing Race 38, episodes 7 and 8, Our Two Legs in Romania. A little behind, if you can tell, but it's okay. We're here. We're ready to go. Romania, baby. Now, both legs say Bucharest, but I think the first leg, they're just, like, in the country of Romania? I don't know. They just say everything's Bucharest, so I don't know. What do I know? So, let's just get into it. So, teams are in Croatia, but we're heading to Bucharest. Now, this is a flight leg. They have to go to the travel agency in the dead of night for some reason to go get their tickets. I didn't even know, first of all, didn't know travel agencies could be open at 3 in the morning. News to me, but guess they are, unless it was just for the show. So obviously, first to leave is Tucker and Eric, who's shocked. They're not terribly far apart in time. Like, Tucker and Eric leave a little before midnight. Izzy and Paige leave about 3 in the morning. They're the last team to go. Obviously, yes, because they were in last place last leg. I was like, wait a minute. I got myself confused for a second. Now, the teams cluster kind of like there's like 5 teams pretty much at the agency at one point. There's only 2 flights. Now we got a bit of a gap in time with these flights. The first flight gets to Romania at 3:50 p.m. Flight 2, 8:35 p.m. So, looking at that, you're like, oh fuck, that's pretty bad if you're in that back plane because you're going home. Because the odds of you catching up to a team 6 hours ahead of you, pretty fucking slim. Pretty slim. But it's okay. There is some drama at the travel agency. Drama, mildly. Natalie and Stephanie, Joseph and Adam, they get there within like minutes of each other. Not even, probably like seconds. Now, it was said, I believe online with Chat BCC or somewhere else, that they had to go into the agency, like, get their tickets in the order of their arrival. Now, I don't know who got there first with their taxi, but Joseph is the first person in the door. So Joseph and Adam are technically ahead of Natalie and Stephanie. Now, they're still trying to do this alliance thing. Mind you, Jack and Jazz don't give a fuck. They've got their ticket. They're like, cool. But Joseph and Adam, Natalie and Stephanie, they're still going hard with the Trainwreck Alliance. And they're like, alright, we're gonna get all our flights together, and we're gonna be together, and da-da-da-da-da. Except the travel agency's like, oh, no, there's not enough tickets for 4 of you. 2 of you. Not 4. 2. And then it's just kind of like this like standoff of like Natalie and Stephanie and Joseph and Adam looking at each other like. But Joseph's just like handing over his like passport, like, yeah. Oh, crazy. So, as the men would say, ungentlemanlike. Very not gentlemanlike of you, sir. But they got there first. They were the first ones in the door. So Joseph and Adam get those last seats on the plane, and Natalie and Stephanie to the back. Back of the line, back of the pack. Plane number 2, off you go. So, our flights, which they think are going to matter. Well, I guess they do kind of matter. But flight number 1, we have Tucker and Eric, Kyle and Taylor, Jack and Jazz, and Joseph and Adam arriving at 3:50. Flight number 2, not 1, 2, getting there 8:50. Natalie and Stephanie, sorry, I read them down as Nat and stuff because it saves me time and space to write. Chelsea and Jack, Izzy and Paige. Also, shout out to the travel guy who put Izzy and Paige at the front of the plane. I'm like, period. Busy for life, thank you. So, when they actually get to Romania, they're not actually doing the leg today. Or, I guess they've started the leg, but they're not actually doing any of the challenges today. It's just like, get to the roadblock, pretty much. Because, surprise, surprise, they're heading to the TNT Brothers Airfield what does it say? I wrote it down. I can't even read it. Oh, who's ready to, I could not read my own handwriting for a second there. My bad. My handwriting is abysmal. Who's ready to jump into the race? They're jumping out of a plane. Roadblock. Somebody's gotta jump out of a plane. But it's the middle of the night. It's dark. They're like, so you just gotta take your spot. The order you get to the roadblock and take your number, that's the number you jump. The order you jump. And they have to stay there overnight. So the teams all get to kind of be together. But it's also not really like an equalizer because of the way they jump. I'll get to that in a second. But they all get to spend the night there. They're all together. Obviously, the first like flight of teams is already like in bed when the other teams get there. But we do like get a great moment of all the teams reuniting because obviously they don't know who's still left in the race. They're not really all together often. They're usually never all together. So they all get to see like, okay, who's here? Who's not here? There was a U-turn. There's a double U-turn actually, and a couple legs ago, and they're like, we don't know who survived that. Obviously, we know now. Rubina and Christine, Hannah and Simone did not make it. So I love when like Jack goes in to that bunk, hits the lights on, is like, hey, and they're like, oh, he just went in there. And then Izzy and Paige must have been like, what's up? Hello, Jag and Jazz, how are you? And they're just like, nobody, by the way, is more excited to see Izzy than Joseph. Joseph, like, you thought that Joseph would have won the money. He was like, Izzy! Like, cheering, like, in his little bunk bed. Love it. And I love this, like, we actually get to see them, like, together. You know, because it's the race. They're not always, like, you can't just hang out, usually. You're just, like, you're running, or you're doing a task. They don't usually get to, like, oh, hey, we're vibing. We're not doing anything. We just get to sit together. Because they can't hang out anymore in between legs, obviously. So it was fun. We did get to see, I just love that moment when Izzy buzzes in like, hello. How'd that U-turn go? You really thought, huh? Love it. And they're like, we get to rub it in their face. And I'm like, period. So. They also get to see who's not there. Obviously, Tucker's like, bummed that Rubina's gone, but he's also like, well, it's a race. I'm like, oh, your girlfriend's out of the race. But you're like, he's pretty much like, yeah, Calabummer, dude. That's all. I'm like, okay, sure. I don't even know what to say to that because I'm like, you know what? Well, they're not together anymore, so I guess it doesn't really matter. But he really was just like, yeah, it sucks. Anyways, you know, me and my brother here to win, so that's fine. And I'm like, okay. Sure. So, anyways, it's the morning. It's roadblock time. They're jumping at 8:45 a.m. Except this is so strange. They're not all jumping at once. They have three. It's not even like three different. It's 3 planes of jumping. The first plane, they don't show us the time for all of the planes. They only show us the time for when they first start this portion of the leg. So we know it starts at 8:45, and that's kind of it. And so the first plane of jumpers is, in the order they jump, Joseph, Tucker, and Taylor. Plane number 2 is a small plane. It's literally just Jazz. And then the third plane is Paige, Chelsea, and Natalie. And they jump. They don't even land in the... I don't know how this works. They all, like, Joseph jumped first of that group, but he was the last to land? I'm like, how did they not land in the order that they jumped? Wouldn't you be at the ground for... But I don't know. Listen. I don't jump out of planes. So maybe I don't know how it works. But I'm like, oh, okay, so we're not landing in the order that we jumped. Right. Listen, I get this is not like a massive production here at this airfield. They don't have like a huge plane. Maybe they should have gone somewhere that did, because I feel like it kind of... I don't like the gapping here. It's like so... Just having like 3 different groups, but also there's like one, and we don't know how much time it was in between every plane. I believe at one point, I'm trying to see if I wrote it down, somebody said that I think it was Jazz took off for his jump 15 minutes after the first plane had jumped or had landed. So we don't know how much time they're like up in the air. You have to get to 13,000 feet is what they're jumping from. So you have to, you have to get in the plane. You have to get in the gear, attach yourself to the guy, be in the plane. You gotta get to 13,000 feet. You gotta actually jump out of the plane and fall to the ground. And I don't know how they did like the safety briefings and stuff. Did they have to like do it all at once? Did they do it plane by plane? I don't know. So there's gaps in time. It's not massive, but it's not nothing. And also another thing I just wanted to mention, Joseph had no choice to jump. Everyone else got to choose except Joseph because Adam was not medically cleared. Joseph was not the most happy about that. This is like, yay, I get to jump out of the plane. Great. Awesome. Izzy was just happy that Paige had to do it. Paige did it because Izzy's like, I'm not jumping out of a fucking plane. Before they even got to the place, they just heard airfield and they're driving there. And Izzy's like, if we have to jump out of a fucking plane. She was happy. She said, roadblock, good. She's like, I will owe Paige my left leg or my whole life, anything, everything, the whole world. After this, because I'm not jumping out of this plane. I was like, I love, like, I'm like a little all over the place today. I just loved when they were at like the little bunk place at the airfield. What would she say? It was like, are you happy that, oh my god, what was it? No, I forget. Never mind. It was like, when she was, oh no, it was like, are you happy that it's a roadblock and you have to jump out of the plane? Are you happy you got to like, was it Robin, Jack and Jessica? I don't remember what the other thing was. Maybe it was just like a little bit of bone, a little bit of bone. I was like, period. Love it. Okay, sorry. I'm like a little all over the place today. My bad. I did not have as much caffeine today as I usually do, so I'm a little, you know, a little down. Don't mind me. Oh, now you jump out of the plane. They get their clothes. I don't know how they're getting these clothes because they're like not in the order they jumped. They're like in like whatever. Like Joseph's in the back of this group. Whatever. Route info. They gotta go across. They gotta walk across the street to the sheep farm. And corral 5 marked sheep. They're marked with blue dots on their wool. Okay. There's a whole herd of sheep in every corral. They have like skinny little aisles. At the end, there's like a little thing, a little pen. You get the sheep in there. This does not seem as hard. Sometimes we're struggling with this. I'm like, I don't think it's that hard. But also, I don't corral animals, so what do I know? Now, I would have probably gone the Izzy and Paige. Well, not their initial strategy, but the strategy they end up doing where you like just put them all in there and then just take out the sheep you don't need versus trying to like just get only the 5 because the sheep obviously they're herding animals, they cluster together, so they're gonna want to stick together. So kind of pull some away. You're like, no, especially going from like a bigger place to a smaller place. Just start with the small and let them out into the big area. And also, some people like did it the opposite way. They're trying to like. Or, like, they don't realize that the little pen was over there, so they just, like, open up into the main area, and they're like, no, wrong way. You only had to have the 5 marked sheep in there. You couldn't have any of the white ones in there. Tucker and Eric, how? I want to know how they are always able to do everything. Like, what is their life experience? I want to know. Because they're like, oh yeah, we have like a ranch in Montana. We did this all the time. I was like, what the fuck? How do you have farm experience now too? I'm like, what can they not do? This is crazy. This is crazy to me. I'm like, okay, so you could just do everything. Cool. Crazy. I like don't have much to say because it's like you're putting 5 sheep in a pen. A lot of people fly through this. Izzy and Paige are stuck there. They're the last team there because they were having a hard time with their initial strategy, which was slowly like coax one sheep and like they're like, okay, come on, let's get you in. And I'm like, I know you don't want to yell at animals, but I'm like, just get that little bastard in there, and I'm like, get him in there. Well, we get there eventually. They do the strat, put them all in there, and then take them out. And then we get there. The next route info, let me read this for you, because I can't remember what the hell is it. I'm going to say this wrong. I don't like say it. Debarcador Labada. They gotta drive there. It's like this is like all in a little countryside area. It's like by a bog of water, a lake, a pond, water. They gotta build a pontoon, row that shit out with sticks to get to the middle of the water where their next clue box is, and then get the clue, row your shit back and go. These pontoons are also just like 4 barrels, 3 pieces of wood, some metal like bars and screws. I'm like, okay, and we got 2 big. They're like 2 big sticks for everybody. Everybody get a big stick to push. And like I feel like I'm not describing this like because there's like I'm like this is like kind of not hard. This really is not hard. I think the harder part was people getting on it because like they're like obviously Tucker and Eric are fucking good at this, so they know they're like, oh yeah, balance this I did and balance this way, and then we're good. And like Joseph and Adam try and like they almost sink the fucking thing because they're like they're both at the same time. It's like they're in the water. Like why is it going like that? And I'm like, we gotta distribute the weight. You can't put on a wooden raft with 4 barrel buoys. You can't sit here. You gotta know that you sink. Good. I feel like I like don't really have much to say because these like the tasks this like were like not hard at this point. Like the roadblocks, these 2 route infos were not hard at all. Obviously, I mean it's not hard to jump out of. I mean it's just like I'm a mental like I'm gonna jump out of a plane, but like you can't fuck up. I mean you can fuck up jumping out of a plane, but if you fuck up jumping out of a plane, I don't think they air this season on TV. I don't think it makes it to air. I think the only alternative is severe injury or death of fucking up jumping out of a plane or just not doing it. And you gotta do it. So, not hard to mess up. It's not hard to corral 5 sheep, even if they are jumping over the bars of the pen and back out, back in. It's not hard. This doesn't the buoy thing didn't look too hard. Like the pontoon wasn't that bad. It was. Then again, I could have fucking sucked at this. Probably. Who knows? So these first tasks were not crazy. Now we get to the detour. Now, at this point, a lot of the teams are fairly close together because a lot of the tasks are fairly quick. The detour. Brick builder or mask maker. Now, every single team except Izzy and Paige pick brick builder. Izzy and Paige go to mask maker. Now, mask maker is personally what I would have picked. It honestly seems like the simpler of the 2. At least to me. We just have to go to this little area. There's 2 masks, traditional like Romanian masks hanging up, like cloth masks. And you have to sew the rest of the face on it. Make sure it matches correctly to the masks. Because they're both 2 different. They have like different eyes, different mouths, different like hair on it. It's just pretty much like sewing pieces together and make sure they're in the correct order. You know, when you're attaching things, so you can't just be like, I'm just gonna stick it on here or stick it on. Like you have to make sure it's a specific way so it looks correct. So it's more of a attention to detail task. Pretty straightforward. Brick builder. They all clearly seem to think that this is gonna be much easier. Also, a lot of them picked it because they're like, oh, I can't sew. Which, I mean, fair. If you can't sew, it's only one option. Brick builder. They have to go and build 10, I'm going to try to say this, Kirpich, I believe is the word, Kirpich bricks, 10 of them, which are made This is the fun part. Clay, straw, water, manure. Listen, if I had picked the brick building one and I open that clue and I see the word manure, honestly, I don't probably need to read it. I probably could smell it the moment we get there. And like, you gotta build 10 bricks with straw, manure, and like water and clay. And I'm like, maybe we're going to the mask one now. Maybe we're gonna switch to the mask side. If you think I am going to sit there, and this was grueling work. Like, I believe I won't like Tucker and Eric were there like an hour before like one of the other teams that got in. They're like, they're still here. They left an hour before us. I can't remember what team it was. Let me see if I wrote it down. But it was like they were like, oh, this is hard because it's very physically demanding. And the people who were the guy who's judging this thing, let me tell you, he's not playing. He's like, some people had to redo like half of their bricks. The guy was like, no, skip. I'm trying to see if I wrote down which team got there an hour after. I don't think I did. I did not. No. Did not. That's okay. Listen. I'm not doing shit bricks. You're out of your fucking mind if you think I'm sitting there making... And they're doing it, like, because they have to mix it to get, like, the goo, like, the material together with, like, a shovel until it's, like, the goop. They have, like, a little square mold. They have to pack it in with their bare hands. They are all so disgusted. They are covered in, like, mud, dirt, shit. Poor Natalie's definitely... I'm like, I don't know how... They're like, wearing white. I'm like, I'd be like, we're fucked. Clearly. Guess I don't have to worry about getting the Saints out for the next leg. But I was like, there's no way. There's no way I'm doing shit bricks. You're out of your goddamn mind if you think I'm making bricks out of shit. I'm turning my ass around and we're gonna go make some masks. Okay, you're gonna figure out how to sew today. Because I'm not doing shit bricks. No. And this is clearly very grueling work because you have to shovel. You gotta shovel all the materials together. You gotta be like hunch down your hand. You're mixing this shit together. You gotta pack it in. You gotta make sure it's right. And if it's wrong, you gotta do 10 of them. And if it's wrong, you gotta like scrap it all over. You gotta fix. This was hard work. And then it's like so funny because Izzy and Paige just like. The team's like shoveling shit. Covered in mud, smearing shit. Taylor wipes out so hard, literally going past Joseph, slips, like wipes out, her bucket goes flying, she goes face first into like mud and shit. I'm like, oh my god, this sucks. This task is brutal. I can't believe nobody thought of switching. They were like, no, we can do our shit bricks, and we're gonna power through it. We're gonna stink. Oh no, I could not. I'm leaving. I know it wastes time going switching from one detour to the other, and it's a risk of like you could suck at the other one. I gotta go back. Like, listen, no shit bricks, thank you. This is also a rough leg for Natalie and Stephanie, clearly, but they started falling apart definitely with the pontoon. Their communication was really falling apart there. But when we get to the shit bricks, first of all, they can barely get there. They park in the wrong space. Honest to God, when they showed them driving in, they're supposed to park somewhere over there. They come driving in, like, into the entrance of this, like, detour. And I fully thought, like, where the teams are building their shit bricks, I was like, are they gonna just, like, drive through this? Just, like, drive through the task? Like, I think we're here. No, but then they, like, park there, and they're like, oh, no, we gotta park at the designated park. They finally read their clue. Big thing this day. Read your fucking clue. Read the clues. That's why you have them. So they have to go move their car. And then they come and do their shit bricks. But they are, I think they're the last team there. It's rough. A lot of these are very close together because this leg has been very close. But literally, I think all 6 like groups or like teams are there together. I think obviously Tucker and Eric leave first because they were there earliest. But a lot of them are there for a while, just having to remake bricks, touch them up, fix them. Because the guy's like, no, 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 no. Trying to remember which one they even had to do. Izzy Page is making him ask. Izzy's like, Izzy's grandfather was like a tailor, so she knows how to like, she's in like source of clothes. I'm like, oh my god. Perfect leg. And obviously, Izzy and Paige, this leg was so good for them. These, honestly, both of these legs, 7 and 8, were great for Izzy and Paige. Good, like they were able to really catch up to the other teams and move up. They are definitely like the turtle in this hair race. Everybody's like, we gotta build a ship bricks. Oh my god, and they're like, we work better when it's just us and when it's quiet and we can just focus and move slow. That is like their strategy, like why they're so good at these tasks. They don't panic, and they're not like, oh my god, okay, we're behind. We're the last people at the sheep thing, so we really gotta make these masks. We gotta sew them fast. We gotta catch up. They're like, we gotta take it. We gotta just chill out, and we gotta do it. And we're gonna do it once. We're not gonna keep doing it over and over and over. We're gonna do it once, and we're good. And they do it once and they're good, like most of the time. And I'm like, that's why they're the team to watch, baby. That's why they're gonna be writing their names on that $1 million check at the end of the season. This is a pissy house. I'm letting you know that right now. Don't ever forget it. So I'm really glad that they went this. I don't know. I don't know if they would have been able to catch up with the shipwrecks. Oh, they maybe. Depending on that, well, I don't know. Mathmaker was definitely the choice for them. I mean, it's a big risk to go to the place that nobody else is at. But, paid off. Really paid off. They are definitely, like I said, the turtle in this hair race. They are just slowly making their way, and they're catching up. I mean, they were last place, last leg, and they finished in last. Not in last, but like they're the last team to check in that is alive. That survived the leg. But they're moving on through to the next Romanian leg. But yeah. No way I'm doing that ship bricks. That would look like really rough. That honestly was such a... Oh my god. And then we also had... There's not even drama like in the episode. Just drama online. With Kyland and Taylor. Because people don't really like or get Kyland's communication with Taylor. A lot of people think it's very condescending. My take, I don't see it. I know Kyland is also neurodivergent. He's autistic and has ADHD as well. So, as someone who is also neurodivergent, we don't communicate in the like a normal, neurotypical way. So I was like, was he being like, I don't, we don't understand like tones. We also understand sometimes the way like we're expressing our like. I have definitely said things that I thought were like chill, and people were like, wow, or like people like took it like the wrong way, or like, and I'm like, what? I'm like, that wasn't supposed to be rude or something. I'm like, I was just talking. What? I don't know. Your tone. You don't always understand how your tone is coming across. You don't realize like the way you're saying things. So maybe that's the case. But also, Taylor doesn't have an issue with this. So why is this so much an issue? It's like such a whole thing online, and I'm like, I don't think it really matters unless your name is Taylor Hill. And Taylor don't have an issue with it, so why are we having an issue with it? I don't think he was being really condescending, but also, sometimes just men be talking like that. I don't know. But honestly, it also could just be like he's, like I said, neurotypical. Our communication styles are different. We don't always understand like the tones, the things we say. Sometimes we, like me, I repeat myself 800,000 times. Can you tell? I don't know. I take a long time with stuff because I have a hard time expressing my words in the moment. Like, I mean, you probably could tell in these videos. Like, I'm like, like, I don't know what to say, even though I literally have thoughts, like, everything. I'll talk to the whole episode, like, for days after. I'm like, oh my god, da-da-da-da-da. Then I sit here and I'm like, what was I gonna say about anything? Because it's literally like my ADHD is like, here's all of it. All of your thoughts. You need it? You want it right now? Where'd you put it? Where'd it go? What happened? Where'd it go? And I'm like, oh, gotta figure that out. So, like, I communicate very slow sometimes. Like, I don't always... I don't know. I have a hard time processing things. I don't know. I can't even explain my own thought process and communication style. So my communication isn't the greatest because sometimes I don't realize like the way I'm saying things, and I'm like, it seems fine to me. And then maybe other people, you're like, that was rude or that was this way, and I'm like, oh, I don't know. I don't realize how it's coming across, and I definitely can't always understand other people's tones. Sometimes I'm like, is this person upset, or is that just how they talk, or are they like pretending to be mad, or are they mad? You know, you can't always tell when you're neurodivergent. So maybe that's it as well. But like I said, unless your name is Taylor Hale, who cares? This don't affect you, and as long as she is okay, we're good. Simple as that. And it was just mostly like, also, they're in a race for $1 million. The pressure is significantly higher than an everyday situation. It's not like, oh, we're lost trying to go grocery shopping. It's like, oh, we're a little lost trying to get to the next leg of this race on this TV show we're on to win $1 million. I also would be a little frazzled and not happy with my communication. I'd be like, we need to hurry the fuck up. I probably would be. People would be like, she's a bully. If me and my sister were on here, you would think we were like monsters. I'd be like, bitch, can you hurry the fuck up? I'm like, we're fucking lost, bitch, hurry up. We would not be civil. And sometimes that's okay. Sometimes you're just trying to win $1 million. So that's my take. You see how like it's like so all over the place because my brain is like boop 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 boop. But watch, when I hit the stop record button at the end of this video, I'm like, oh, I didn't mention this and this, because I'm like, boop boop, in one ear out the other. Well, so this detour is the last task on the leg. So obviously after the detour, they have to go to the pit stop at Carroll Park. And this is where we get, oh my god, Jack and Chelsea. It's amazing how they are still in this race for how absolutely lost they get. Actually, wait. I'm on the wrong leg. I'm talking about the next leg. Never mind. I mean, they do get they're getting directions. I'm sorry. I'm thinking of wrong Romanian leg. They get extremely lost. Episode 8. We'll get to oh my god. You see what I mean? This is what I mean. My ADHD, my brain. We're mixing things. We're mushing things together. We're all over the place. I literally am looking. I have my notes visible to me, and I still am talking about leg 8, not leg 7. Jack and Chelsea are not as lost on this leg as they are last time, but I'm sure maybe they were, but not as horrendously as they are leg 8. Sorry, my bad. But anyways, Jesus Christ, Jess. Okay. Tucker and Eric finishing first. Who's shocked? Not me. Fourth first place leg in a row. Record is 5. Will they get their leg 8? Spoiler, no. Almost. They get $5,000 each. Congratulations. Good for them. The rich get richer. There's a great moment with Joseph and Adam when they're doing the pontoons where he was like, we're trying to beat Tucker and Eric. I think they've had enough Expedia trips, okay? Spirit, give us some. Share the wealth. Maybe we want an Expedia vacation. I love Joseph. Joseph and Adam are great. I truly love them. Now, this was much like this. Like I said, this leg was fairly close. All the teams were really close. I believe at one point, I'm trying to look at my notes here. It was like Kyle and Taylor and Jack and Chelsea were all trying to get directions around the same time, and Izzy and Paige were pulling up at the same time to get like direction, trying to get to the pit stop. Like, it was all very close. Kyle and Taylor are able to get there by following Joseph and Adam, actually, who were in a car trying to get into it pretty much like this leg came down to a race to the pit stop for a few of these teams. I believe like Tucker and Eric, Jack and Jazz had kind of a gap, but these like back 5 teams were like neck and neck. But obviously, Kyle and Taylor get there over Joseph and Adam. They just make it there. Jack and Chelsea, Izzy and Paige are, when I say foot race, I mean like they are parking at the same time. They're like getting there. They're running through this park. Izzy and Paige are throwing their bags on the ground trying to catch up, but Chelsea and Jack beat them to the mat first. But they are both still in the race. Unfortunately, we lose Natalie and Stephanie this episode. They had a really rough leg. Things that the moment they lost that seat on the plane over Joseph and Adam, it just started going downhill for them. They were in the back of the pack. They've never been there. Like, we haven't been in the back of the pack this whole leg. We're not really used to being back. Like, this sucks. They weren't really able to catch up. They were having difficulties like with their communication this episode. They were just like, I think they were really feeling like oh God, we are in the back. And it was really, the stress was like just not doing them any favors. They were having a hard time communicating on the tasks. They were getting a little lost. It was just like a bad combination of things, and they ultimately just couldn't catch up, and it sucks. Literally, as you can see, the third all-women team in a row to be eliminated. Really sucks. Really sucks. It's rough. Really rough. And also it goes to show that alliance didn't do them any good. I mean, they were able to get this far, but their alliance members are second place, fourth place. Kind of ditched them this episode. They're like, say I wouldn't want to be, you know. So that's why you don't do alliances in the Amazing Race, because I get maybe alliances at the beginning, but like once we're at like literally final 7, I don't think you need the alliance anymore. I think we could move on. I think we could start playing our own game and not waiting. I mean, they didn't do as much. It wasn't like last leg where they were like waiting. Like, we have directions for them. We have this for them. I'm like, okay, at least they're not doing that this time. But I'm like, it sucks. I don't know. It just kind of sucks. But they ended in good spirits though, which, you know, good for them. Now, that was like 7. I don't have much to say, but it's like, it was a fine, like, I think the first few tasks, like, were okay. I liked the most this episode was, I did enjoy the detour. The shipwrecks were really funny. I did enjoy, like, not just like the plane jumping itself, but like the before, that overnight segment we got with all the teams together at the bunk. I think that was really fun. I liked seeing all the teams together. Obviously, it doesn't really happen that much, but I just like to see their connections and their friendships, because they are, you know, a lot of them are friends outside of this. This isn't like, you know, a bunch of strangers like that don't know each other like a typical season. A lot of them are friends. So it's cool to get to see together. But yeah, this leg was it was okay. You know, it was a fine leg. It wasn't like anything crazy. Now, it's fine. Leg 8. We're still in Bucharest. This time we're actually like in the city this time. We went from the country, now we're in the city. So, oh boy. Romania. Now you could tell how close the last leg was by the departure times here. When Tucker and Eric are leaving at like 9:15, 9:07, yeah. And then Izzy and Paige are leaving at 10:45. So they're like an hour and a half gap. So a lot tighter this leg versus last leg. And then this is also the Expedia sponsorship leg. Even though this whole fucking race feels like it's like Expedia sponsor, but I guess this specifically is the Expedia leg. Cool. So they are going to, I'm going to try to say this for their first route info. We're going to try to say this together, y'all. Bucharest, Herăstrău Park. That to get there, no taxis. Only, I believe, public transport. Now, when they get to this roadblock, let me tell you something. When I make my shitty little thumbnails, I look up the episodes, and I hope and pray they have something good, because usually you can't really find a good picture, because it's like the resolution's really small, you try to stretch it out, it's shit. The joy that I felt when I looked up Amazing Race, episode 8, I go to Google Images, and the picture that CBS used had that fucking chicken. That creepy ass chicken. Oh my god. Oh, I didn't switch to... Sorry. That fucking chicken for this. The chicken is crazy. I'm obsessed with this fucking chicken. I will literally put up on my phone right now. I have a picture saved of the chicken. I was like, incredible. Who made that fucking chicken costume? Oh yeah, let me actually, before I pull this picture of the chicken up, let me actually explain the roadblock. Now I'm trying to find the chicken. Don't mind me. Where is this chicken? I went too far on my phone. Apologies. I'm trying to, like, look but not look. Where is the chicken? Oh, here we go. Incredible. I saw this thing and I was like, oh my god, what the fuck is that? His, like, neck's like that. Look at him. He's like, he's his like head's like lit. What is wrong with him? It's so good. I fucking love this stupid chicken. Oh my god. So let me. Okay. Roblox. Who's ready for an Expedia experiment? First of all, they wrote it as Expedia like the company. They should have written it Expedia. Because this is the egg challenge. You're going on an Easter egg hunt. You're walking around this little park area. You're looking for little fancy Easter eggs. You have to find the little egg that matches the massive fucking Easter egg that's like tall, like a 7-foot tall egg that's sitting there. And when you get the matching egg, you gotta roll it to the crazy ass chicken and be like, is this the egg? And the chicken yays or nays and gives you a postcard for the next stop you're gonna go to. This is interesting. People, I realize, are not gonna. This was so fascinating to me. People were picking up eggs, and I'm like, I am sitting on my couch, and I can tell you that it's not the right egg. They're picking up an egg, like, this egg. You can see it in the thumbnail. If you saw it in the episode if you watched it. But, like, it's really, like, red and blue. Mostly red and blue. A little bit of, like, a whitish yellow. They're picking up eggs like this. It's, like, yellow. And I'm like, that has so much yellow on it. Please. I know you're desperate. And this this roadblock took people a long time. Hold on. Let me see who's in here. Eric, Jag, Kyland, Adam, Izzy, and Chelsea. Now Jag and Jazz used their Express Pass for this. I didn't mention this at the top. This is the last leg that the Express Pass can be used. Leg 8 feels very long, in my opinion, to have an Express Pass. But this is the last leg to use them, I guess. So leg 8, that's crazy. But yeah, Jag and Jazz play it for the roadblock, so they just fully skip it. But Jag just say like, I'll do it, but then they like, we're skipping. They give it to the chick and they move on. I believe online, Eric said they were there for like 45 minutes doing this, trying to find this fucking egg. Obviously, because it's a beautiful park. Like, there's like wildflowers, like very tall grass. It's very beautiful. Trying to find little eggs, not. It's not like an Easter egg hunt here where it's like a very flat, like, soccer field of grass, and you're like, egg. You're looking through like wildflowers, and like there was some like in a tree. I swear to God, I saw one like in like a tree like this, like a little tree. It was like an egg sitting there. I'm like, I swear to God, I see that. This is hard for a lot of people, and then I think they start getting desperate, and they're like, we're just gonna start guessing eggs, and I'm like, this is yellow. I'm like, that's the wrong egg, and I can see that from my couch. You're holding it in your hand. I think you should be able to tell that that's not the egg. But that's okay. I get desperate times, call for desperate measures. Just start throwing eggs at this fucking chicken. The chicken is just like whole fucking roadblock, standing there with his neck all crooked. And I'm like, that didn't even look like a chicken that much. It literally looked like a goose. But they're like, the chicken, give it to the chicken. Okay. Also, Chelsea and Jack got lost getting to the park. They were like out of the wrong park. I'm like, how? How are they still here? They get so fucking lost. It's crazy. This leg, I know I tried to say it for episode 7. My bad. Leg 8, I can't believe that they were not in last place. They were so lost. I'm like, I cannot believe they did not finish last because it was crazy. I'm like, how are you still in the game? It's a miracle because you people get lost on lost on lost. This was like the worst leg of them being lost, but we'll get to that when they get lost. No, we just got this. I can't believe how much of an equalizer the second leg, this chicken hunt, the egg hunt was. You would think it'd be like, oh, you just gotta find an egg. This literally was so hard for these people. Like, it was crazy. I think, like, I wish I wrote down the order they left. But I believe Tucker and Eric had a bit of a lead over everybody, so they were there for a while, but they left shortly after Jack and Jazz got there and used their express pass. So those two were, who's shocked? Those two teams were kind of ahead of the other four on the race. Who's shocked? Not me. Now, I know Kyle and Taylor did, like, well, at least Kyle mentioned, like, them debating, like, should we just use the express pass because this is fucking taking forever. But they all eventually get through it. Though, Joseph and Adam are the last team there. This is a rough leg for Joseph and Adam. Especially Adam, who this entire leg was, like, struggling very hard with his diabetes, with his sugar. Like, his sugar levels just kept dropping and dropping and dropping. To the point where at one point in this leg, I'm like, is he going to black out? I am stressed for this man. I literally was, like, sweating at some points. I'm like, he's gonna fall over. I was convinced. I'm like, is he going to be medevaced from the Amazing Race? I was sick. But yeah, this is where his sugar starts to plummet during this egg hunt. Joseph talks about this on Chat BCC and, like, in their interviews as well. Like, he was holding, like the device that tracks Adam's sugar, and he has, like, the Dexcom. Listen, I'm not the most well-versed in medical terms. I'm not sure if the Dexcom is the device or the device on Adam's arm. But at one point, it pretty much just, like, failed. So they had no reading on Adam's sugar at all. They were just like, well, they just know it was going low, low, low. And Adam's just going out in the park, out to the woods, just farther away from Joseph. And just, like, sugar's crashing. And Adam was like, we're going to keep going. If my sugar crashes, it crashes. And I'm like, hey, that's bad. Because, like, you start losing, like, concentration. Like, your vision blurs. Like, you can't, like, you have a hard time, like, it's just, it makes your whole body just, like, start shutting down, and it makes everything that much harder. So obviously he's struggling as it is, and now he's struggling even worse because his sugar's crashing and he won't stop and eat, like, a fucking granola bar, drink some orange juice. I'm like, please. But eventually he finds the right egg, gives it to that fuck ass chicken, and they can move on to the Palace of Parliament. Sometimes I can't read my own handwriting, and I'm like, what does it say? Palace of Parliament. I got confused because I'm like, what is this long title? But I wrote forward next clue and highlighted it by accident instead of just the title. My bad. Now, once they get to the Palace of Parliament, they get the next clue for the detour of this detour. Find the beat or hit the note. Now, earlier, at the beginning of the episode, Izzy and Paige were having a confessional, and Izzy and Paige were like, if we get a music task, this leg, we may convert to religion. And start saying the hymns, girlies, because we got a music task. And not just any music task, bitch. It's a flute. It's a pan flute. But flute. For Izzy, the professional flautist. Izzy was like, oh my god. Izzy was like, yes. Like, literally, could not have been a better leg. This was, like, the best leg for them. And I personally am very happy. They were like, thank God. They saw a pan flute and they're like, done. No questions asked. So, let me explain. Find the beat. Dance task. You gotta learn and perform a traditional Romanian folk dance. Hit the note. You have to build a little beginner's wooden little pan flute and learn and play a short little tune. Little duet tune. This is a pretty even split amongst the teams. Jack and Jazz, Kyle and Taylor, and Joseph and Adam go to find the beat to do the dance. Hit the note, Tucker and Eric, Jack and Chelsea, Izzy and Paige. Now, I say Kyle and Taylor do follow the beat, or find the beat. Follow the beat. But they don't actually do it. This is where they use their express pass. And they pick find the beat because they, honestly, kind of smart. They just went to the closest location. They're like, what's closer? They had somebody, like, check times on their phone, like, the distances, and they're like, okay, that one's closer, we're just gonna go there so we can get through this a little quicker and just get the fuck stepping. I'm like, you know what? Fair enough. Honestly, the dance did seem a little harder. I probably would pick the pan flute. I used to play the trumpet. It's not the flute, but I know, like, the flute, like, mouth position, kind of. The trumpet was like, I can't do it now. I played the trumpet in, like, 6th grade. Like, 5th, 6th grade. It was, like, a very tight, like, mouth position. You'd be like, I can't even do it now. Like, it's like, and the trumpet was, like, on your mouth like that. But the flute is kind of like a down, kind of like a, you know, like that. I could be doing that so wrong. I don't play the flute. My sister played the flute for 4 years, but I went trumpet. Only 3 buttons. You just gotta boop, 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 boop. And then spit valve. Lovely. But I definitely picked the music task. I'm like, that's not hard. And you didn't even have to read sheet music. They had sheets, but it was just like a picture of the pan flute, and it was like, they highlighted the like tube you had to play. I'm like, that's much better than like if you can't read music and it's like F D da, 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 and you had to like try to like learn the scales. I'm like, if you don't know sheet music, you would have been fucked. But yeah, I definitely am going hit the note personally. Now, yeah, like I said, a little hard time with the dancing here. Sorry for coughing, by the way. I hope I didn't do that right into the mic. Oh my god. Sorry. I tried to look away. Now, I mean, some teens have their little difficulties. Like, Tucker was having a hard time with the pan flute. Like, Jack and Jazz and at Joseph and Adam, when they do get to the task, have a little hard time with the dance. They have to do it a few rounds. Obviously, Tucker and Eric and Jack and Jazz are so ahead that nobody gets there by the time they're there. Like, Jack and Jazz do the whole dance multiple times and are able to move on before anybody else gets there. Tucker and Eric build the whole pan flute and learn it and perform the song correctly before anybody else gets there. Because they're kind of ahead. Now, Jack and Chelsea. This is abysmal. They're just trying to get to the goddamn flute. But they're not even trying to get to... They're just trying... I think at this point, they were trying to get to the bus stop. To take the bus. To get to the damn pan flute. Hit the note. They are so lost. They're going in the opposite direction. They're just wandering. They got directions from somebody, but they're still wandering. They're not double checking with anybody. I think they said they were there for like an hour and a half. I'm like, how are you this lost? I thought for first they were just lost trying to get to the door. They were lost. They just got to the bus stop. I'm like, oh my god, what? And then they're like so frazzled. They're not like, they're both upset. The tension, they were just sitting in the bus stop like this, like, you know when you're just like, you're mad as fuck, you're like, but you're not mad at the person next to you, you're just like mad, and you're like, I have to like sit down and shut the fuck up before I yell at this person, because I'm just like so pissed off, like the situation is pissing you off, not them. You're like, I'm gonna yell at them, but I'm not mad at them. I'm just mad right now. I'm so frustrated. I'm so irritated. I'm like, don't talk to me. We're just gonna sit in silence. Leave me alone. That was them. This, like, oh my god, my bangs. Excuse me. There's like a piece of hair in my face, and I feel it. Thank you. There we go. Sorry. I was like, it's in my eyes, and I can't see. They were just so lost. It was crazy. So lost, so frustrated. They finally make it to that damn bus stop, though. I'm like, Jesus Christ. Every time they cut back to them, just like wandering in a new area of like Romania, where my mom and I were like, oh my god. We're like, here we go. Again. Like, I remember, like, they cut them, like, in front of that, like, laundry. I'm like, I remember I turned around, I'm like, where the fuck even are they? I'm like, where are they? They're, like, nowhere near where anybody else was. I'm like, I don't even know where they are. They're just somewhere. I'm like, this is crazy. They eventually do make it to that bus stop, though. Miracle. Also, struggling. Joseph and Adam. Adam Sugar still refusing to stop and get his sugar levels up. I think they said that, like, at the detour, the race, the crew was like, please take this fucking orange juice, I'm begging you. But he's, like, he was struggling. When they do the dance, like, they're having a hard time with just the dance in general, and then Adam is, like, clearly, like, visibly, like, going down. This is when I thought he was gonna black out during the dance. I'm like, he's going to fall over and just hit the ground during this dance, and then he's out. I'm like, they're gonna medevac this man. I was, like, so sick. I was like, oh my god. It was when Adam gonna be out because poor Adam's sugar was just so low, and he just wants to get through the race so they don't go home because they're behind because he spent so much time with them. I was, like, so sick to my stomach. The fact that he didn't black out, I was like the relief in my soul. I was like, oh. It's like, thank God. I really thought he was done. I was like, whew. So when they passed through that dance, I'm like, a miracle. Like, my heart was, like, beating. I was, like, sweating. I'm like, please don't fall over. Please don't be medevaced. Please. But he's fine. He made it through. I'm like, whew. I'm like, I was like, saying, like, please get your sugar up. Please, please, please. You're stressing me out. You know who's not having a stressful time, though? Izzy and Paige. Izzy and Paige having a ball with their little pan flute. Izzy, obviously, she's a professional flautist, and she teaches people to play the flute. She's, like, chilling. Izzy's like, this is my... They didn't even need the instructor. Like, Izzy is, like, teaching Paige more than the instructor is. Izzy's, like, doing the notes. You know, Izzy's just a musician. They crush that shit. No problem. My girls... Pizzy for life. I keep doing this like I'm wearing a Pizzy. Should I get a Pizzy shirt and just I can keep doing like this and have like Pizzy on it? Should I? No, wait, that's fine. Maybe. We'll see. But yeah, they all make it through the detours eventually. Excuse me, I'm turning my notebook over. So don't forget where I am. Round info! So they have to... Was this like that short? Why did I think this leg was longer? You know why? Because of the fucking... They were just so lost. And they spent so much time in that damn chicken. I don't know if this leg was longer than it was. But yep, route info. The Green Hours Jazz and Theater Cafe is their next stop. When they get there, they had to make 10 Meech. It's written as Michi, and a lot of them say Michi, but Jeff. But Phil pronounces it as Meech, so I'm calling it Meech. So they have to make 10 Meech, which look like sausage with no skin. It's a blend of various meats, sausage shaped, cooked on a grill. They're gonna make 10 of them. They don't have to actually cook them. They just have to make them 10 raw ones, and then they have to each eat a meat. Fair. This was, like, why was this so easy? And, like, the hardest thing they had to do, like, just with this stop was just, like, shaping the meat. Oh, I just remembered. I forgot from the last, sorry, rewinding it back to the detour for a second. Jack and Chelsea got lost again getting to the detour. They get off the bus, they're trying to find the building, they can't find it. They're lost again. And I'm like, what is wrong with you people? Ask somebody for directions. And they do, and then you're like, oh, okay. And I'm like, oh my god. I'm like, ask somebody. This is a race for $1 million. Ask somebody. Oh my god. And actually they're able to make it to the fucking beach place. It's a goddamn miracle. But it's fine. They're making meat. 10 meat. Not hard. This is not hard. Why was this task so easy? Literally the hardest thing was having to like reshape them because you made the shape wrong. Like I thought they would have to like cook them. No, you just make them raw. Make them. They had to eat one. Make them eat 10. Make it hard. I just want to make it hard, make it difficult. They gotta sit there and stuff damn sausage. Make it like give me a lot, tear it up. I don't know, just do something, make it, cause like it wasn't that hard. Okay, in my personal opinion. Now, like I said earlier, Jack and Jazz, Tucker and Eric are far ahead of the other teams. They're there same time. Tucker and Eric leave the route info just a little bit ahead of Jack and Jazz. They beat them out to get to the pit stop at, and I'm going to say this wrong, Mogosoya Palace? Mogosoya. Maybe that, Mogosoya? I don't know, I don't speak Romanian. I'm sorry. The palace. However, Tucker and Eric get stuck in traffic. Their taxi driver goes the wrong way, has to make a U-turn, like, lost. Jack and Jazz's taxi driver, however, is like, I got a shortcut. And it's flying them through this thing. So, Jack and Jazz do beat them, and they end their streak. Tucker and Eric could have tied the record for most leg wins in a row with 5, but they did not. They lost this time to Jack and Jazz. Jack and Jazz get a trip to Bermuda. Good for them. One of many trips they've all won this show. At this point, I'm like, whatever. We've seen them win 1,000 times at this point. I don't care. No, they're like, you know how bad it is that like I no longer care about like first and second place. I'm like, whatever. It's one of them too. I'm more worried about like the rest of the back of the pack. I'm like, I don't care who's winning because you've already won 9 trips and I'm fine. But yeah, the rest of the teams make it in as well. Izzy and Paige do say when they check in, they're like, listen, we knew this wasn't a race against 5 teams. It was a race against 3 teams because there was multiple express passes. Some of the teams were far ahead. They also mentioned about how they're doing this for the last, being the last, all women teams, but that got cut from the episode. They mentioned it online, but got cut for some reason. Now, I'm making my bangs worse every time I do this, so don't mind me. I'm not used to having them straightened, and they're too long. My God. Because obviously, when they're naturally curly, they're shorter because they curl. Sorry, I keep fixing them. And also, I'm trying to do this in this recording, and it's mirrored, so I'm jacking myself up. So don't mind my hair. Now, back at the beach, at the Green Hours Jazz and Theater Cafe at this Red Info, it ultimately comes down to somehow a race between Joseph and Adam and Jack and Chelsea. I don't know how long, because Joseph and Adam were not lost. I think they just had a much harder and longer time at all of the tasks this episode versus Jack and Chelsea, who were just so lost for so long. I was like, I cannot believe that they are somehow not dead last, Jack and Chelsea. And they finished before Joseph and Adam, and they're out before Joseph and Adam. And somehow, they get to take a taxi now, finally, to get to the pit stop, so they're not lost. They get a taxi. So they are... It's kind of like a race. I believe Joseph and Adam leave shortly after Jack and Chelsea, but it's pretty much a race to the pit stop between them two teams. And Adam is, like, very emotional this entire trip back. Honestly, it is... I feel kind of... Like, I do feel, like, very sad for them. Because he, like, talks about how, he's like, oh, if Joseph had just run this leg with, like, somebody else who was more, like, able, like, and, like, if he didn't have to run with me, he would be more ahead. He wouldn't, like, you have to, like, keep stopping for me because my sugar is crashing and things like that. And it sucks that, like, you have to be worried about, like, oh, my disability is going to cost us this game. And I'm like, that sucks, because you don't want, like, oh, we could have won, but everybody else is able-bodied and I'm diabetic and I can't keep up with my disability because of it. And it's like, that sucks, that really does suck. That was kind of, I mean, they also were struggling with the task as well, so it's not like it was solely because of that, but I'm sure that did not obviously help them with, having to stop, or even Adam was refusing to stop. And his performance was worse because he didn't want to cut, like, important time that they needed to stop and sit there for 15 minutes to try to get his sugar back up. And it sucks that you have to, like, kind of sacrifice, like, your own health and well-being just to kind of get ahead of this race. It just sucks. I'm like, yeah, maybe he could have run with somebody who wasn't diabetic, but he didn't want to run with somebody. He wanted to run with you. You're his brother. You're the person he wanted to do this this race with. And I think that is more important than, who's the most optimal person I can run with to get me $1 billion. It's like, no, you're running with somebody that, like, that you love and care about and you want to have the experience with, whether you win or lose or not. How many other people can say, I ran around, like, a bunch of European countries and did these ridiculous tasks and sure, we didn't win $1 million, but we have some crazy stories to tell other people. And, like, I think the experience is more what you're there for than, well, I mean, $1 million. You can't be like, it's $1 million. Like, it's $1 million. It's a lot of money. But, I mean, obviously, look at that. There's 13 teams at the start of this race. We're down to 6. Not everybody's going to win $1 million. Most people will just be getting the experience. And if it was a little more equal, maybe some Expedia trips and money. But not everybody gets those. But yeah, I think what matters more is getting to spend time with somebody that you care about and getting to do this insane thing with them and being like, hey, we did it. Maybe we didn't win, but hell, we killed some of this shit. And so what if we had a bad day and we lost? That's okay. We did it. So I get Adam, like, his sentiment of, like, damn, Joseph could have done a lot better with somebody who was more able-bodied. But hey, maybe he would have did a lot worse. You never know. Because Adam is very, very, like, a great competitor with Joseph. Like, they do killing this race for a while. But they had one bad day. And that's okay. Because, as I was watching this, crying, very, like teary, like, oh, this sucks. Notice how they're not in black and white. It's a non-elimination leg, baby. I was like, oh my god. My mom and I were like, just like so bummed. And when Phil said non-elimination leg, I literally grabbed my mom. I was like, no way. Because they've been kind of like teasing you for a few episodes. They've been like, because they've been saying the last team in chicken may be eliminated for a couple legs. And I was like, And I'm like, yeah, okay. Because I could have sworn I read somewhere that it was like this race is going to be like all non-elimination legs. But I guess I did not. Maybe it was for another season or something. Because I was like, oh, what? I was not expecting a non-elimination leg because I really thought I had read somewhere that it was supposed to be all non-elimination legs. Imagine my surprise when Phil says non-elimination leg and Joseph and Adam are, in fact, still in the race. I am going to sneeze. Maybe not. Okay. I was like, I'm going to sneeze and I don't want to sneeze into the camera, but I did not. The mic, excuse me. Okay. Sorry. So imagine, gooped and gagged, let me tell you. I was like, oh my god, poor Joseph and Adam are sobbing their eyes out. Because they were like, we're the last ones in, we're done. And they know they're behind Jack and Chelsea. So the fact they're still in it, I was like, oh my god. Because I'm like, I love Joseph and Adam. So I'm like, I'm very happy they're still in the race. It is interesting that they decided to make the non-elimination leg, the leg that you had, the last leg for the express passes that were used this leg. This kind of like, you know what? Never mind. Who cared about that, man? Nobody's going home anyways. And I'm like, oh, okay, Joyce. But, you know, that's fine. That's fine by me because I'm happy Joseph and Adam are still here. I really like Joseph and Adam a lot. So, hey, works for me. Does look like they're in the back of the pack, and they do have a penalty next episode. How effective that penalty will be, we'll get to that in another video. But they are still in the race. Nobody knows that. The other teams aren't aware of that. They'll find out though, because next leg, they tease us a live double U-turn. That's right. We're voting who's getting U-turn. 2 teams getting U-turn. And when I saw that, I'm like, why do you even need to vote? There's only one answer. And I look at number 1 and number 2 there. That's who you're U-turning. No vote needed in my opinion, but hey, we'll see that in the next episode. Because boy, was it something. Oh my god. I did like this episode. I think this leg was fun. I love that fucking chicken. I like the tasks were not as physically demanding. Interesting to know that the legs that are the leg with the most like non-physical tasks is the non-elimination leg. I'm like, oh. Interesting. Hey, I don't design this. Not my job. Just a thing I noticed. But yeah, I liked this leg. It was a great leg for Izzy and Paige, which made me feel better. I'm like, yippee for me. They're still in it. They were able to jump up from last to 4th. Works for me. Don't worry, they will be jumping from 4th to 1st when they get that $1 million in a few weeks. And if not, I didn't see it. I don't know. I think this episode was fun. Romania, we had a fun time. We had some interesting tasks. The damn ship bricks. That crazy ass chicken. I don't know. I think it was a pretty good leg. Legs, excuse me. Plural. I did like it. I did have fun. And next night we're going to Athens, Greece. Fun. I don't know where we're going to go after Athens. I honestly did not pay attention. But yeah, we had... Oh my god. Sorry. I had to try to move something. It did not go. Yippee! What legs we had in Romania. What a fun time in Bucharest and then the Bucharest country. Or Bucharest continued. I don't know. Oh my god. My brain's like fucking crazy. Sorry. So, that's kind of all I got for this video. I don't know. I like these episodes. I think the tasks in episode 8 were a little more interesting than 7. Because the 7 one just seemed kind of simple. I mean, the Meech one was also kind of simple. But, I don't know. I'm always more interested in, like, the creative tasks than anything. Like, the ship breaks were just kind of funny. But I did like, singing the pan flute and then the dancing. The dancing is always fun. I always enjoy that. It's more interesting than, like, watch us run somewhere and build this pontoon. And I'm like, cool. Though it is funny to make people skydive. They're like, alright, jump. Get out. Bye. Because those instructors, they just go. And I'm like, oh. Can be me. Now. Sorry, I feel like I have to sneeze again. Oh my god. Sorry. Like, I feel it. You know when you feel like your sneeze going on, you're like, am I sneezing or no? But we're not. Sorry. I'm like trying to see over my bangs. Remind me to never straighten my bangs. Never straighten my hair for video again, because I cannot see. So. That is all I have for now. I like these legs. I think they were fun. We'll be back later today? Later on? For Survivor 49, Episode 9. As well as tomorrow for The Amazing Race, Episode 9. Our Athens leg with the double U-turn. That was a time. That was an experience for sure. Oh my goodness. I don't even know where to begin with that one, but we'll get into that next time because I have opinions that need to be heard. Okay? Okay, yeah. So, that is all for today. Let me know your thoughts on our Romanian legs below. How did you feel about the tasks? Do you think they were too easy? Do you think they were too hard for some reason? How do you think the express passes should have been? Do you think they should have gone to leg 8 for some fucking reason? Or should they just been a lot earlier? My opinion, cut off at like 5. What are your thoughts on the... Oh my god. I bumped something. I'm so sorry. I just like watched something on my desk move. Excuse me. Now I lost my train of thought. Yeah, just let me know your thoughts below. Are you glad there was a non-elimination leg, or do you think, fuck it, cut these bitches off? leave a like if you want, and if you want to subscribe, go ahead. If you if you made it this far in this mess, thanks. I'm sorry, my ADHD is really all over today, but I don't have enough caffeine. I'm like, where am I? Who am I? What's going on? So thank you all for sticking with it, and I will see y'all next time.